media. She's an incredible woman. She's the CEO of Payless Universal. Yes, and I'm not going to steal your thunder. Take it away. We have 5 minutes intro. Yes.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you so much, Benny. I can't thank you enough for bringing me out on International Women's Month. My name is Anne Welsh, and Benny did a massive introduction. Let me tell you how we met. It was during lockdown. And I started Payless University in 2019 after writing my book. It was launched by WHO, it was launched by various presidents around the world. And this book is called Living with Pain, Finding Your Joy. You might ask me why a name. I live with sickle cell anemia. So I was born with this, and I've lived with pain my whole life, but I've never let pain stop me. I've always let that pain be my pointing direction. I actually got a job at Lehman Brothers, and everything going on in the world right now just reminds me of that time when we were packing our boxes at Lehman Brothers, and we had to master that change. So my life is just that lady of living change. But to get to the point, Benny, I must thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. You were doing so much for women, and when I started this conversation, my Payless University talk show, I saw your page and I thought, I need to reach out to this amazing person who is changing the world. You're sitting down in Wales and you are changing the world during the pandemic time. And when I reached out to her, I said, look, I need to have this conversation with you to talk about the work you're doing for women. And she immediately said yes. And not only did we have our conversation, we changed each other's lives. I learned so much from her. She's learned so much from me. She's actually someone I look up to as a mentor now because she teaches me, she inspires me. Even though I have such a crazy job because I mentor so many other African leaders right now in my day-to-day job, I'm a social media influencer as well. Benny is someone I look up to, and I really, really thank you for bringing us all out here in this beautiful venue. We're all, I think many people might have not had the opportunity to do this, to get to sit in a wonderful setting like this, but you've brought us all out here, and I thank you for this. So to get to my short conversation about women mastering change, what does it truly mean? The COVID-19, I will start with that because I think that is where we connected, is that on that part of the COVID-19. That brought a lot of unprecedented change, things that no one was prepared for. That in my world, even with sickle cell, I was always prepared for change because I was never well, so I always had to adapt my life. I had to adapt to getting jobs. People say you can't get a job, you can't get married, you can't have kids, so I always had to prove them you can get married even if you have an illness. You can get jobs, you can't have kids, you can't be wealthy. So I've always had to do that. So when the pandemic hit, people were panicking. I was delighted. I said, another change for me. So that gave me an opportunity to help people who've never been through unprecedented change, who've never been through pain, to help them, to tell them, yeah, you might be in pain, but guess what? In the bad days, you lie down. In the good days, you celebrate it. You live your life. So that was what I did, and this is where Payless University started. And when Benny said, you'll be headlining, master your way, master change, I thought this was an amazing topic because what we need more than ever is learning how to master change. In unprecedented time, no one knows what's going to happen tomorrow. We've seen the stock market crumbling. There's panic in there and strikes everywhere. Tomorrow people will not be at work. Strike is going on. There is change. But who is feeling the change of most? Women. We could say everything we want to say, women. Then more especially, ethnic minority women. These women have to work tirelessly. And I said about the strike, I said to people, when I was asked by the government, what do I think about the strike? And I would say it out there. I said the strike is good because people are fighting for their rights. But where the strike is a problem is that people with chronic illnesses like myself, people who have low income are the ones who are greatly impacted. But you forget that when you do the strike. But until you actually go into hospital to look for your own medical treatment, and they say to you, the doctor is not there to look after your mother, the doctor is not out there to look after your sick child, then you realize the real impact. So I said to them, we need to get together and find a solution. When it comes to women, we women go through change. We women are the biggest influencers in society today. We're mothers. So we start off there by giving birth to these kids. When you're a mother, you nurture your child. You want to bring up the best in that child. So how do we start by mastering those changes that the pandemic has caused? Many women have lost their jobs due to the pandemic, so they're forced to stay at home to look after their kids. Childcare costs, big economy, a big topic today is childcare costs. Many people cannot afford to take their kids or to go back to their jobs because the cost of childcare has risen incredibly. A lot of people cannot afford it. What are we women doing? Events like this should not just be events where we speak, but events like this is events where we should come together and come and start thinking of solutions to our pain. Because we women, we go through pain, but the only thing we need to start learning is not just utilizing these, but utilizing it to make a difference. And I'm so glad that this event is not just for the women in the room, but you also invited the men who can make those changes. So thank you so much for having me, and I really do hope that we see more of this event in the future. Thank you.